Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's me again, Michael Asoy, one of the worst person in the entire world. So, marami siguro nagtataka sa Facebook, sa mga social media, no, kung ano ba talaga yung pinya? Ano yung pinya? Bakit trending yung pinya? Okay, so, napag-isip-isip ko, ano ba talaga yung pinya? So, siguro yung sa mga nakapanood, alam niyo na yung ibig sabihin ng pinya, no? Um, Siguro para sa akin, ang pinya kasi, ah, parang ano to eh, the plant is indigenous, okay? Is indigenous to south, okay? To South America, and is said to originate from the area between southern Brazil and Paraguay. Okay. However, little is known about the origin of the domesticated pineapple. Okay. M.S. Bertoni considered the Paraguay River drainage to be the place of origin of Camosus, the natives of southern Brazil and Paraguay, spread the pineapple throughout South America, and it eventually reached the Caribbean, Central America, and Mexico, where it was cultivated by the Mayas and the Aztecs. Columbus encountered the pineapple in 1493 on the Leeward Island of Guadalupe. He called it Piña de Indes, meaning pine of the Indians, and brought it back with him to Spain, thus making the pineapple the first bromeliad to be introduced by humans outside of the New World. The Spanish introduced it into the Philippines, Hawaii, and introduced in the early 19th century, first commercial plantation 1886, Zimbabwe and Guam. The fruit is said to have been first introduced in Hawaii when a Spanish ship brought it there in the 1500s. The Portuguese took the fruit from Brazil and introduced it into India by 1550. The pineapple was brought to northern Europe by the Dutch from their colony in Suriname. The first pineapple to be successfully cultivated in Europe is said to have been grown by Dieter de la Court at Nuremberg in 1658. Okay, in England, a huge pineapple stove needed to grow the plants had been built at the Chelsea Physic Garden in 1723. In France, King Louis XV was presented with a pineapple that had been grown at Versailles in 1733. And Catherine the Great ate pineapples grown on her own estates before her death in 1796 because of the expense of direct import and the enormous cost in equipment and labor required to grow them in a temperate climate. Okay, using hot houses called peaneries. Pineapples soon became a symbol of wealth. They were initially used for display at dinner parties rather than being eaten, and were used again and again until they began to rot. Okay, by the second half of the 18th century, the production of the fruit on British estates had become the subject of great rivalry between wealthy aristocrats. Si John Murray, parang ano to eh, uh, huge stone copula 40 meters tall in the shape of the fruit. It is known as the nakalimutan ang tawag dun. So yun, si John Kidwell is credited with the introduction of the pineapple industry to Hawaii. Large-scale pineapple cultivation by U.S. Companies began in the early 1900s. Among the most famous and influential people industrialist was si James Dole. Okay? Kaya nga nagkaroon ng Dole, who moved to Hawaii in 1800 and started a pineapple plantation in 1900. The company's Del Monte began growing pineapples on the island on parang Hawaii yun eh. So respectively, pineapple company began with the acquisition of 60 acres land in 1901 and grew into a major company, okay, the Dole Food Company. Maui Pineapple Company began pineapple cultivation in the island of Maui in 1909. Okay, so yun, in the US, in 1986, the Pineapple Research Institute was dissolved and its assets divided between Del Monte and Maui land and pineapple. So Del Monte took cultivar 73 to 114 that the MD2 to its plantations in Costa Rica, found it to be well suited to growing their and launched it publicly in 1996 as a gold extra sweet, while Del Monte also began marketing 73 to 50. Okay, so yung Dole ceased its cannery operations in Honolulu in 1991, and in 2008, Del Monte terminated its pineapple growing operations in Hawaii in 2009. So the Maui Pineapple Company reduced its operations to supply pineapples and only locally in Maui. And by 2013, uh, yung plantation and volume of about 0.1% of the world's production. So yun, in the red Spanish cultivar of pineapples were also traditionally widely cultivated in the Philippines for the textile industry from at least the 17th century. Okay, they were originally brought to the islands from Latin America during the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines. Smooth cane vine so was later introduced in the early 1900s by the Bureau of Agriculture during the American colonial period. So, yon yung company na established plantations in the island of Mindanao in the 1920s, the provinces of Cotabato and Bukidnon respectively. The Philippines remain one of the top exporters of pineapple in the world. So the Del Monte plantations are now locally managed after Del Monte Pacific company, a Filipino company, completed the purchase of Del Monte Foods in 2014. So yung pineapples may be cultivated from the offset produced at the top of the fruit, possibly flowering in 5 to 10 months and fruiting in the following 6 months. And pineapples do not parang basta yun. So yung Costa Rica, Brazil, sa Philippines accounted for nearly one-third of the world's production of pineapples. And the pineapple is a tropical plant with an edible fruit, also called pineapples, and the most economically significant plant in the family Bromeliaceae. Basta ganun yun. So that's all for now. So me again, Michael Asoy, one of the worst person in the entire world. Peace out.